you may as well go live in lots and lots of different places, you know, because you're going to go live. Oh, you couldn't hear me. Hopefully you can hear me now. Okay. Sorry about that, everybody. Hopefully you can hear the sound now. So what's the key? So that first part is value is good, and we want value, but it also needs to be relevant. Okay. So when Game of Thrones was big, everyone was getting really super into, you know, medieval and Tudor and all of this stuff. You know, when Harry Potter was big, everybody was into, you know, magic and imaginary worlds kind of thing. It's all about where the attention is and not simply about how much value it adds. So the first thing we need to do is we need to reverse engineer what's working, don't we? We need to know exactly what is working out there right now. How do we do that? Well, we look on the platforms themselves to see what specifically people are looking for right now. How do we do that? Okay, so for example, you can go to TikTok. You can filter out the videos that are going big on TikTok right now. You can sort them by likes. You can sort them by niche. You can sort them by, you know, engagement. You can sort them by views. But you can be jumping into each one of these different elements and seeing exactly what's going viral right now. Elliot says it could be helpful and actionable too. It does. Yes, of course, that's value adding, right? If your content is helpful and actionable, that's awesome, you know, and people appreciate that. But at the same time, you know, the whole world is publishing helpful and valuable and actionable content. So what makes yours different and interesting? And why would a algorithm / search engine favor your content rather than someone else's content? Well, it's not going to do it just because it thinks your content is more valuable than others. Algorithms don't know that. They don't know what's more valuable than something else. All they know is what people are looking for. That's what they know. Jan says, I'm trying to increase my profile followers, but it's not happening. Also likes and views. So part of that will be, you know, whether you're doing a call to action for people to follow you in your video, whether your profile and your bio is optimized to promote people for your call to action, whether your feed is, you know, clear in terms of what you make and communicate, and whether people are using that. Connor, my LinkedIn was on mute. I'm hoping that it's fixed now, Connor. Let me know if it's not fixed. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do that research. Let me give you an example, okay? So imagine if you're at a roulette wheel right now and you throw the ball on the roulette wheel. When people play roulette, they're just guessing. They're just throwing a ball on roulette. And they might say, oh, I've got a good feeling about this, but it's based on nothing at all. They're just guessing. So what we want to do is we can never know exactly what will go viral, but we can narrow that roulette down to one specific quadrant of the roulette wheel instead of just throwing it and guessing across the whole of it. So we want to narrow down the chance of going viral. We can't make something go viral, but we can narrow down the chance of going viral by choosing specific quadrants of that roulette wheel. And we do that with our research. We do that by knowing what people are looking for. For example, if you talk about ChatGPT right now, everybody's watching videos about ChatGPT. Okay, ChatGPT is really, really big right now. You can kick and scream about that, and you know, you can bring whatever opinion you want about that. It doesn't change the fact that there are tons and tons of traffic and attention going towards ChatGPT right now. So if you want to get more views, if you work in marketing and you want to get more views, well, guess what? You should be talking about ChatGPT, right? So the question is, how many of you are actually implementing that in your day-to-day, right? Because you probably know it. You probably know the kind of stuff that's getting views right now, but are you really implementing it in your day-to-day? That's the question. To go viral, do I need to make video continuously, says Tanji. You only need to make one video a day to go viral, yeah? Even, I mean, in theory, you can make one video every other day, but we encourage you to, you know, viral does involve testing. So, you know, one video a day is going to give you more opportunity to be doing testing. Yeah. Claire, so much about AI tools. Yeah, exactly. Everyone's talking about AI tools, right? You know, so, you know, we want to really be focused on, well, where's the attention and why? That's what we want to be making content around. So that's the first bit about going viral, is the research side of things. How can you be researching content that you know has a highly likely probability of going viral? Now, if any of you want to learn more about this, if any of you want me to work with you directly in order to be able to go viral, if you've been watching my stories, if you've been watching, my highlights, you'll know that we have literally people on our programs that go viral every single day. Just comment the word Reels in my DM and I'll talk to you more. Okay, literally hop over to my DM and comment Reels right now, and we'll start working together. Elliot, if you are able to post 2 reels and a single a day, is that better than 1 reel or 1 single? Generally, I would say no. The reason being is if you're posting that much, there's no way you could be researching all of that. It's just very unlikely. I mean, if you are and they're all high quality, then yeah, but I would rather higher quality, lower output than higher output, and highly variable quality. That's my personal view. So, that's the key. First is we want to research these things. How do we research? You go to TikTok and you filter out the videos on TikTok. You go to Instagram and you look through the feed on Instagram. You go to people's profiles and you look what content is going big on people's profiles. You go to each one of these platforms, go to YouTube and look at, what's coming up as the top video in the last few months on YouTube, right? Use SEO ranking tools. Like all of these different elements are going to give you those signals and those signs that are going to tell you that this thing, this topic, this area is going viral, and you will want to be doing the same thing. This is what you want to be making. This is what you want to be doing, is making stuff that has a high chance of success. Tanji, I'm making reels with trendy sounds, but the views are from a specific country. Trendy sounds is nothing, has very little to do with virality. Unless you're doing the trend that is attached to the sound, it's got very little to do with virality. And no, you can't really change what country people are viewing you from. Okay, so that's the first part, is the research phase. Once you start having a full calendar where every single post in that calendar has a much, much higher chance of success, you'll see an immediate uplift in your baseline views. Maybe you're getting a few hundred, you'll start looking at 1,000, maybe 2,000, in your baseline views, just from doing that one thing. Just from ensuring that you do the research and you really focus on making content that's actually, proven to go viral. Yeah. So Elliot, it's hard for me to hook people with educational reels. Well, that's because you're trying to come up with your own hooks instead of reverse engineering it, right? So, if you're finding content ideas hard, it's because you're relying too much on your own head and you're not doing enough research. Because, in 4 seconds, you could find what's going viral in your niche right now. So, the first phase is that research phase and filling your calendar with 30 days worth of viral content. The second phase then is going to be in the test area, where you're actually testing to see what is working right now and, what's going to get the most results. So just because a video goes viral for one person doesn't mean that video is going to go viral for you, and every person's audience is different. So now we need to be testing. What are we testing? We're testing formats. We're testing hooks, we're testing topics, we're testing durations, we're testing styles. All of these different elements are things that you can be testing to then see what people like. Do they like, notepad videos? Do they like time lapses? Do they like stand-up tutorials? Do they like pointing at bubbles? What do they like, right? Going into your test phase and looking at what they like. And again, what we do in Reels Millionaire is we work with you to actually go through that testing phase together. So we actually, review your content, give you feedback on that content, give you new ideas, tell you exactly what to be making so that you know exactly what to do next. So that, any support that you need, we're right there and we're very, very prescriptive in giving that to you. So if you want to go viral and you want us to work with you, that's what we do in Reels Millionaire. Just comment Reels and we'll reach out to you. Yeah. So if you want to go viral, just comment Reels and we'll work with you. And we'll help you get to that viral area, right? We'll work with you to get to that viral state. Yeah. So the next phase is the testing phase. Finding out what works, what's working, what isn't, how do we get more people's attention? How do we hold that attention? What's getting more baseline views? What isn't? What do we need to start, stop, and continue? All of these different questions. But also when it comes to testing, you're also going to be testing your personal capability. So, how are you specifically working, and what do you need to continue to work on in order to be able to get better results? Maybe your scripting needs to improve. Maybe your confidence on camera needs to improve. Maybe your workflow needs to improve in terms of posting every day. Like, what do you need to improve from a personal capability standpoint in order to be able to actually have a chance of going viral? Maybe your niche is all over the place. You know, maybe your videos take too long. Maybe they're a little bit awkward. Who knows? But everybody has different capabilities as a creator. And if you really want to go viral, you know, it's not just about, you know, tips and tricks. It's also about your ability to be able to create great content. And are you able to do that? And are you able to, you know, really be able to look at what you do and assess impartially what you need to do next? Now, generally, the answer is no. This is where most people struggle. Is, well, how can you be impartial and subjective about your own content? You can't. So if I looked at your content in 2 seconds, I'd be able to tell you what you need to do. Whereas you're probably staring at it going, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing here. That's the difference between working with someone and doing this on your own, is you don't have that objectivity when you're working on your own. So, you know, again, if that's something that you want to learn more about, drop the word reels in the chat and, you know, we'll talk to you more about how we can get you there, right? How we can get you there. So the second phase is the testing phase, testing out lots of different types, formats, you know, styles, all of that stuff to kind of really see what works and for you to be able to pin down what your audience is responding to. Elliot, is it better for them to watch 50% of 1 minute video or a full 15-second video? I just wouldn't post 1 minute videos at all, Elliot. It's just too long, man. If it takes you a minute to describe it, that's a scripting issue. It's too long. You know, you're taking too long to describe whatever you're talking about. You know, that's a scripting issue or an editing issue, one of the two. So again, you know, that's a great example of I'm able to look at that comment and tell you exactly what you need to do. You've probably been, you know, pulling that through your head for forever, trying to work out exactly what you need to be doing. So what we want to be doing then is that testing phase. And then once we get the testing phase, what we're going to start seeing is more, you know, consistent baseline views. So your baseline views would have gone up from the research phase already. But once we start testing and once we start seeing some winners, your overall baseline views should start to increase. So let's say you're getting, you know, 300 views right now, and the research phase takes you to 1,000 or 2,000 views. The testing phase should take you to 4,000 or 5,000, right? So now you've gotten, you know, whatever it is, 20 times more reach than you had when you first started this process, which is amazing. And, you know, we have people with 90 followers getting 15K views consistently. We have people with a few hundred followers getting over 100K views consistently. So it's totally possible. If you're like, well, Dan, I only have so many followers, so therefore I can't get very high views. It's like, well, no, you know, we have loads of people that we work with that get over 100K views on posts with only 300 followers. So it's totally possible. It's absolutely possible no matter what level you're at. And if anything, it's actually slightly easier when you're at the lower level because the algorithm, you know, can be a little bit more favorable to you. And all the people that it pushes out to are almost all non-followers, which is awesome. Unlike, you know, when at a later date for me, my standard posts, you know, get almost no non-follower reach. So, you know, it's harder. It's actually harder for a bigger account to grow with Reels than it is a smaller account. So, you know, what we want to be doing is really focusing on that test phase and then ultimately starting to move into a repeat phase. Okay. I've got a couple of questions here. Does quantity help? And do I need to be making more Reels videos? No, you only need to be making one a day. That's all you need to be making is one a day. Right. So, you know, if that's all you need, just make one video a day. That's all we do for anyone that we work with, you know. It's just one a day. So, you know, you don't need to be making tons and tons of stuff. So the goal here is quality over quantity. Okay. Once you have the quality, then you can increase the quantity. But if you don't have the quality, then increasing the quantity is just going to ping pong your views And it's going to make growing a lot harder because, you know, the algorithm's all over the place, right? So how can you be making more consistent, higher value videos every day? That's what you want. If you have extra time to be posting 2 or 3 videos a day, then instead of doing that, make a better single video, one that's better researched, better scripted, better edited, better made. It's much more likely to go viral, because again, you know, if you're making 2 or 3 posts a day, you're just throwing a roulette ball around a roulette wheel and crossing your fingers, right? Whereas if you're making 1 post a day and you're really thinking about it, then, you know, you're picking that quadrant. You've got a much higher chance of success. Hold on, let me just answer this question. Yes, okay. So the final stage of our 3 stages is the repeating stage. So once we find the things that are going viral, that are getting more reach, are getting more views, are getting, you know, more interest, that's when we're going to want to repeat what works. And, you know, think of it this way, okay? When you go to Subway, you try out, you know, a new sandwich, you don't really know exactly what you're eating, and you look at the board and you pick something and it's all right, but it's not quite exactly what you wanted. What Subway have been really focusing on is binge culture, okay? And finding your perfect sub. They use that in the adverts, perfect sub. What we need to do for your audience is find their perfect sub. What is their perfect sub? And then how can we serve that up to them over and over again? We live in a binge culture when it comes to video. People tune into, you know, Game of Thrones and then they watch the entire series. You know, how many of you, when you watch Netflix, you just binge through the whole series, right? That's the binge culture that we do. Once you find something you like, people binge through it. So what most people do is they give something that people like, but then they just make random stuff after that. And, you know, who knows what really happens. Yeah. And then of course, because it's random stuff, no one tunes in for the next one. What's your thoughts on the quality of the likes that come from the videos versus quantity, i.e. the people who like it are actually more likely to follow? You can never know the answer to that one, you know, in terms of, you know, what the people that engage with your content are like. I mean, that's just not something you can control. I mean, you can shape it in terms of the nature of the content that you create, but, you know, ultimately you can't control that. Quality content, but you have to make content for an audience. If your content is new, is it possible there's no people interested in until you educate them? I'm not sure that's a question, Sammy, but if there is a question there, then let me know. How do you burst this overwhelming content bubble? If you're overwhelmed with content, it's because instead of researching content, you're consuming too much content. Okay. And you're not doing enough research. I never consume content. When I scroll through my feed, I am looking in my feed for research purposes. I'm looking at hooks. I'm looking at views. I'm looking at likes. I'm looking why something went viral. And anything that hasn't gone viral or hasn't got engagement, I'm flipping straight past. I'm not watching videos for entertainment value. I'm watching videos for research and education value. So every minute that I spend on Instagram is me absorbing, where is the attention? What are people looking for right now? What does that tell me about the world in general? And how can that help me make videos that are going to reach more people? And that's what you need to be focusing on, is less consumption, more research. Yeah. If you're overwhelmed with content, it's because you're consuming way too much content. You're just passively consuming content. You don't need any more content, guys. You don't need to be watching any more videos. Okay. Watch lives like this. Lives are awesome. You don't need to be watching any more videos. Okay. You need to be taking action. That's what you need. You need to be taking action. That's the only thing you need. You don't need to be watching more videos. You just need to be taking action. Yeah. So the last phase then is the repeat phase. Geeky says, just wanted to know what you're cooking behind that camera for this month. Any behind the scenes? I could show you one thing. Hold on. Very soon. So I haven't been on video for a little while. I've just been focusing on the business. But very soon, this hat will be appearing, this gold hat with a dollar sign on it. So there you go. There's a sneaky behind the scenes look for you. Keep an eye out for that. It's good. It's a good video. So the last phase is the repeat phase. What's the repeat phase? We repeat what works. We give people their perfect sub. We give them the Game of Thrones that they want. We give them the content that we want. We respond to their views and we repeat whatever's getting the most views. That's the last phase. Very, very important phase. Is the last phase. So what we need to be doing is ensuring that we're paying attention to what our audience are telling us and what our audience are communicating to us. So, what does that look like? If something's getting more views, you need to do less of it, need to do more of it. If something's getting no views, you need to do less of it, right? So are you really responding to what your metrics are telling you, or are you simply just continuing to make value-adding content, well-intentioned but guesswork content? If you're guesswork, if all you're doing is guesswork content, then what's going to happen is your views are going to be ping-ponging all over the place. You're never going to be, getting any kind of reach or any kind of traction, and you're just going to be making content forever. And that's the difference. Yeah. So again, if any of you want help with any of that, we work with creators just like you to be able to get millions of views and tens of thousands of followers. You'll see Tyler right now. Tyler, has recently, joined Reels Millionaire 2 weeks ago. And since then, he's grown over, 40,000 followers in the last 2 weeks. Okay. Tyler has grown 40,000 followers in the last 2 weeks by going viral with his content. And you can be doing the same thing too. It's absolutely possible. No matter what niche you're in, you can be going viral with your content as well. So Tyler's just hit 60K. He was on 20K 2 weeks ago. He's gained over, I think it's 10 million views. And, he's got videos that are like 500K, 100K, 142K, 740K, 316, 143, 345, 241, 143. I'm just reading his latest videos off here: 130, 268, 320, 301, 134, 312, literally millions and millions of views. So, that's something that you're interested in. Comment Reels right now and we'll reach out to you. And, we'll talk to you more about how you can work with us to get the same. So if you've got any questions, let me know. I'm going to be doing daily lives at this kind of time going forward, so you can tune in. We're going to be covering different things every day, whether it be client creation and client landing, whether it be going viral, whether it be get engagement, making your profile, making your bio, all of these different elements. We're going to be covering all these different elements in these daily lives. I'd love to know what you are looking to learn about, and you can just DM me and let me know what you'd like me to talk about in the next live. And we'll talk more about how you can be achieving more results in your business. So make sure you ask those questions in the chat right now. We would love to kind of talk to you. Last chance before I kind of tune out for today. Just remember those three steps. Okay. Research, refine, repeat. That's what we call it. And that's how you can do the same. Now, obviously, the key for this stuff here is for you to be able to get more views. And this stuff everything I've just shown you here works across any platform, whether it's TikTok, YouTube, whether it be Reels, or anything, Facebook as well. Facebook has got a lot of virality right now, Facebook. So, all of this stuff works across all of these platforms. Why? Because it's a content-led strategy and not a hack strategy. It's nothing to do with trending audio. Notice how at no point in this conversation have I said, use 5 hashtags and use trending audio and do all this dumb shit that, may or may not help, but ultimately, the content is what's going to carry the thing over. The question is, what content do you make, right? That's the key. That's the really hard bit. And it's very, very hard to do on your own, out of your own head. What do you do when you first start your account to get your first few audience members? Try and niche down as quickly as possible. Try and be as specific as possible. Reverse engineer what's working, and then go from there. Mirror best practice. That's the key here, is mirror best practice. And, really immerse yourself in what is working right now and how you can get more of that. That's the key, rather than guessing. Yeah. Try and mirror that best practice. Okay. So last chance for any questions. I've got one question here to answer. Laura, hold on. How much does Reels Millionaire cost? Well, look, hey, Reels Millionaire is an investment. Okay. The difference between Reels Millionaire and other things is with Reels Millionaire, we actually work with you directly across an entire year. So, you know, with most courses and programs, you're going to get a link and you will never, ever, ever talk to the actual creator, talk to the actual person that did it. How many of you have got links to courses and programs that you never, ever use, you know, and you never, ever, you know, access? You know, that's the reason why that is because, you know, the coach just wants to kind of give you some access to a portal, but the chances of success are very, very low because, you know, you're having to do it all yourself. No one's there to answer your questions. You're lucky if you get like a Q&A box to type into, you know, and maybe get a response, and that probably won't even be from the coach. And then you have a bunch of these team members that hang out with you that don't know a thing about what they're talking about because they haven't done it themselves. You know, so that's why people don't get results from courses. Whereas this Reels Millionaire is a partnership program where we work with you for a whole year. Okay, so it is an investment. So, you know, I'll message you separately on the DM and we can talk more about that. But it is an investment. If you know, working with me for a whole year to both rapidly grow and monetize your social media so that you can have millions of views, tens of thousands of followers, and, you know, massive months, you know, 20K, 30K, 50K months, right? That's obviously an investment. You know, if any of you think that isn't an investment, you're crazy. So, you know, if you're ready to do that, if you're ready to take action, and if you're ready to get the support that you need, we're right here for you. And you can set up a free call and just comment Reels and we'll send you over some more information. All right, last chance for questions, anybody, before I kind of close this one down for today. Don't forget, I'll be back tomorrow. And, you know, right here to help. So if you do got anything, also one thing, we have a brand new Facebook group, and I think you're really going to like it. It's a public group. You can come over and join, and you can tune into some of these lives straight away. Just DM me, and I'll send you a link to the Facebook group as well. And you come over and join it. We'd love to see you inside. Okay, everybody, thanks so much for your time today. Have an awesome day. I'll be back tomorrow. If there's something that you want me to cover, let me know. But until then, bye-bye.